So we're out here today at the duck pond, and I don't know if you've seen in that another video where we are exploring this basically and stuff, but it has grown up a lot. I mean, that's spring green up, but I mean, it is just grown up like crazy. And we've had some deer visit in here lately. I don't know how, because I didn't think deer came here until I come here. And then I guess I made a path for them to travel, so they started coming here. So, and there's a lot of algae on the pond, as you can tell. And so, but today we're also going to be setting some dog-proof traps. So we're going to hoping to be trapping some raccoons, and I mean, we caught some possums here a few weeks ago, and I mean, so we caught 2 possums here, and hoping we'll catch a raccoon, because I know we've had at least 1 raccoon coming around, and I don't want them to try to get around the wood duck nest. So, I mean, we also, of course, always have a camera out here now, but I came out here, and for some reason, the camera was sideways, and I don't really know how that happened. It could have been wind, it could have been a lot of things. The trees could have been moving in a certain way where it just blew the camera sideways. But hopefully we got some kind of pictures of ducks. You never know, a duck could have ran under that camera while it was facing down. But, I mean, so we're going to be going and setting this dog-proof traps out now through that path somewhere. So now, I'm going to showing you how to set these dog-proof traps. Now I'm going to set it right here, but I'm going to first show you a quick rundown on how to do it. Now you got this chain that comes with this dog-proof trap. You put your stake through this hole right here and stake it in the ground. It's that simple. But right here, you basically pull this metal piece in, which is, the more you do it, the easier it gets. When I first got them, it was really hard, but you just pull it back there, and this dowel right here, this metal piece, comes and you bend it down. When you pull this metal piece in, that should fall, and that tip right here should be inside that little notch, that metal notch. It's fairly simple. I mean, once you get it, you got it. So I do got snake traps on because I don't like snakes. And what we're basically going to do first is we got our spot, because this is right towards the duck pond. So it's where I think the raccoons might come from, because I see a trail. And then, so now we got it. And I don't really know if this makes a big difference, but I mean, you don't really want to have super wet ground, because you don't want the stake to come completely out if they get trapped and try to run away. And this stake, I'm not completely sure how long it is. It might be 18 inches. I'll check on that. But, I mean, you just want to have a good stake. It don't have to be the longest thing, but a rebar stake. You just get you a hammer and hammer it in the ground. And it's hammered in the ground. And when you want to pull the stake out, when you're done trapping, you just pull it up, basically. It's pretty simple. But now that we got the stake in the ground, you just come in here, pull this trap back. It sometimes can be harder with gloves on, but I'd rather use gloves than not, just cause. But come back here, hold the dowel, and it is fast, so don't let that scare you. And there it goes. Now it's set. So now we're gonna kind of pull this green layer back and try to make it very obvious that there's food here. So hopefully they'll walk back here and smell this dog food we're about to put in it. So the bait of choice is this small dog food. It's pretty simple, and I'm just gonna open the bag and get some of it, and I put it in the trap. It don't get much simpler than that, but I'm gonna kind of spread some around it, so if he doesn't have it walk right by it and somehow doesn't smell it, he's gonna find this and kind of work his way to the trap. And so he'll eventually smell it in there and say, hey, there's something in there I like, and he'll hopefully get it. That's the theory anyway, and it usually works good. And I can rebait it tomorrow if need to, when I come out here check it, if we don't have anything. But you want to check your traps at least every 24 hours, because you don't want an animal to starve in it, so that ain't good. So now I can go set the next one. So here's what it looks like up close. I mean, it's ready. Got some dog food in there. And now it's ready to get some raccoons. So we'll come back tomorrow and check it. And hopefully we'll have a raccoon in this one and a raccoon in the other one. And this was not too far away from the other locations. That's good. And hey, let's go see if there's one in it tomorrow. So trapping is a great way to see an increase in turkey populations. Because when you think about it, a turkey, when it lays its eggs, it from when the time it laid it to the time they're incubated, the baby turkeys, which are called poults, are on the ground, feet running, looking for insects, and the time they're able to fly up into a tree and roost at night where it's safe is about 52 days, and that's kind of a long time right there. And so that's a long time for a raccoon to try to find them. But the good news is that we can help trap those raccoons, because the raccoons, possums too, but mainly raccoons, are big nest predators of them. And I mean, when the raccoon harvest is down, the turkey harvest is down too. So we need to get the raccoon harvest up, because when you trap those raccoons, you'll see an increase in turkey populations. So I want to encourage you, let's go and trap them raccoons for good reasons, because not only are you going to see more turkey populations, but it'll also help out in a lot of different ways. You can see more rabbit populations and all kind of great things from just trapping normal predators like coyotes, fox, bobcat, and possums and raccoons. I mean, you can see an increase in all kind of things like fawns and everything. So it's a great way to help see better populations, especially for the turkeys, because I haven't seen any turkeys on this property right here, and I sure would like to. So it's your duty and your really a privilege as a landowner when you have land like this to go out there and trap it, manage it the way it's supposed to be, because you want to have good cover so the turkey can feel safe laying its eggs there, and you also want to have it to where it feels safe also, to where there's no predators around, to where it's a few, because you don't want to completely wipe their population out, but you want there to be low enough to where the turkeys feel safe actually living there. Because if they don't feel safe living there, why would they live there? So I want to encourage you, let's get those traps out and let's start trapping, because it's a good way to keep this ecosystem running the way God made it to. Because He blessed us with the honor and the privilege to do it. So hey, I think we all should trap, because it's a good way to do it. And I mean, hey, I just want to encourage you to do that. So we were back out here today, the next day, and somehow or another came back out here to check the trap, and somehow it was knocked over. Now, there was no dog food around it, so some ate all the dog food around it, but that dog food that's right there was inside the trap, but it knocked it out because it rained and it was kind of soggy dog food. So, but the thing is, the trap was sitting right there, and it's over there, and I don't know how, and the wind ain't going to do that, and it ain't just going to tip over and do that. So some kind of animal had to do that. Hopefully it was a raccoon, and hopefully it ain't trap shy, but it didn't go off, so it's not going to scare him. I mean, but he ate the dog food around it, either that or the birds, but, I mean, so we're going to just put new dog food in it, and hoping we'll catch him tomorrow. So we're coming back here to check the second trap, and we got a raccoon. So there it is, and now we can go take care of it. And we set it here it was close to dark last night, or yesterday when we went and set it. And now it's about 3 o'clock, so now we're gonna go and take care of it. Catch you in a second. And so today we're talking about a word that's called scandalon. And scandalon is basically a trap. It's part of a trap, because we've been talking about traps in today's video. Well, scandalon is basically a part where you put bait in a trap. And it's basically also where the trigger is in it. And it's also another word for scandalon would be a fence. And a fence is the bait that Satan uses to, get Christians down, sad, and all that. But also, offense comes from your flesh, because your flesh, you cannot please God with your flesh, because you can only please God through the Spirit, which is when you're acting not through yourself, but with the strength that God gave you. So we got to make sure that we keep ourselves away from offense. And there's actually several scriptures that go with that. And one of them is Proverbs 18:19, and it says, "A brother offended is harder to win than a strong city." And I mean, that's good right there. And another one says, Matthew 24:10, "And then many will be offended, will betray one another, and will hate one another." And that's talking about a fence pretty strong right there. And so it's telling us that we do need to make sure that we stay away from a fence, because when someone's offended, they can hurt them, and I mean it's hard for them to come back and bounce back from that sometimes. So we got to make sure that we guard our hearts from a fence. When somebody says something, or that really hurts our feelings or something, we got to remember that really it's not our problem, it's the problem they might have. But we got to just, if anything, pray for them. And if you have been offended or have been holding on to something, it could be giant or it could be small. It doesn't matter what it was. Just forgive them and bless them. Say, I forgive so-and-so, and I bless them out loud if you need to. And I mean, that's what we need to do, because I mean, the fence isn't going to do anything but keep us trapped inside a snare that Satan's laid out for us. So we got to make sure we got to use a spiritual metal detector and find that stuff and go around it, because we got to make sure that a fence stays far, far away from us. So I want to encourage you, make sure no matter what it is, it could be small or big, just don't let anything offend you. Let it just go like wind straight over you. So I just want to encourage that for that to you. So it is the next day, and we don't have anything in this other trap again, but that's alright. But sometimes you just can't make them get in the trap, no matter how much bait you put in it, and no matter whatever you do, even if you put it in the best location. But I know this probably wasn't the best location, and we can tell now. But I mean, usually we have raccoons here everywhere, but this used to be where we were feeding the deer, but not right now. So they stopped coming. The raccoons did. So I mean, nothing, and that's alright. I'm gonna go ahead and pull it. But hey, we done got a raccoon, which is the one I was wanting to get, because I think there was only one going to the duck pond, because I don't want it to go in looking for them duck eggs in the duck house. Hopefully there's ducks in that duck house. But I mean, hey, nothing in there, but that's alright. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and please consider liking if you haven't already, and also subscribing if you haven't already too. And hey, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned a lot, and hope if you haven't been trapping, you're going to consider doing that, because it helps the ecosystem out a lot, and it's a great way to take care of the earth that God blessed us with. And thank you for watching again, and we'll catch you later outdoors. Hey, God bless, and keep on pursuing God.